future highway expansion is about to drive one company away, more ahead. And some local police are parking their patrol cars for another form of transportation. All this and more coming up on NT Daily News.
From the Mayborn School of Journalism at the University of North Texas, this is NT Daily News.
Hello and welcome to NT Daily News. I'm Haley Rush.
And I'm Lucas Kinser. We begin with an update on the expansion of Interstate 35. The $4 billion project has been given the green light. The last environmental hurdles have just been cleared by Denton City Council, but the construction that comes first could drive one local business out of town. Interstate 35 is a lifeline for many Denton County residents, but plans to extend I-35 to a 12-lane superhighway could have a real impact on many local businesses. No one can deny that I-35 has had its traffic problems over the years, but the expansion project could cause one business and its 50 employees to close up shop. McLean's RV Superstore has been selling everything from portable fifth wheels to six-figure RVs at their current location since 1991. The store's general manager says the road construction could cripple their flow of customers.
It'll be a killer. You shut that Corinth Parkway down, you shut the frontage road to where people can get to us.
Rutherford also said that TxDOT is planning to acquire roughly 1/3 of their Corinth location. The move would be necessary to widen that stretch of road from 2 lanes to 6.
So we'll have to take land that is in that right-of-way. In some cases, it's sold at market price, and in some cases, it's eminent domain.
Rutherford added that the business couldn't continue in Corinth with the remaining lot size. The company's only option was to buy a new plot of land and start planning its move.
When that time comes, when they take and acquire the property here, we will build a brand new facility up there at Sanger.
Construction is set to begin in 2013 and take at least 3 years to complete. Other businesses are concerned about the expansion as well, but most have not heard any details from TxDOT about the impact on their property. After 9 months of construction, the pedestrian bridge connecting UNT's campus to Apogee Stadium has opened. The Texas Department of Transportation built the bridge. It's 20 feet wide, 354 feet long, and 17 feet high. UNT contributed $1 million for the $2.5 million bridge. Denton County paid the rest from toll revenue. UNT administrators and students cut the official ribbon before the Mean Green's nationally televised game against Louisiana Lafayette. But university officials say they'll add landscaping, lighting, and plazas to the bridge in the future. We have more on the preparations for the big game later in sports. Students have mixed feelings about the new pedestrian bridge. They shared their thoughts with NT Daily TV before the game.
Well, for me, since I'm in the marching band, we usually have to march on the bridge at North Texas, and there's all this traffic, and the firemen and the policemen always stop traffic for us, but it's just real big inconvenience for all the other traffic, so having the bridge, it'll just be easier.
It's just a waste of money for what our football team really is. Like, from what I'm a sophomore now, and from what I've heard of our football team, it's not really that great.
A number of students told NT Daily TV they didn't know about the bridge and don't attend the football games. What many students do know is that they want to earn their college degree, but how much does it help in the job market? Cynthia Campillo is here with more. Cynthia?
Getting a job after college may be tougher for the upcoming graduating class than any other. A recent study conducted for the Associated Press shows 1 out of 2 college graduates this year is unemployed or underemployed. The number of employed bachelor degree holders has decreased to the lowest number in over a decade.
I know it's really hard to find a job outside. Just getting an interview, it's really hard. I've tried, and I worried a little.
The Career Center at UNT holds career interview days to help students book a job or an internship in this tough economy.
Sometimes students do not spend the necessary time for searching for job opportunities. They want to make sure that they start at least a year out.
Interview days allow students to meet with a large number of companies in their field of study. The Career Center still has several job searching opportunities for students before the year is over. These include an international career networker, a communication workshop, and a last call job fair. They're all in the month of November. Lucas and Haley?
Thanks, Cynthia. So what are some degrees that bring the highest pay? Payscale.com's annual salary survey says 22 degrees average more than $50,000 a year starting salary. Of those, 14 are in engineering. Others include computer science, physics, and nursing. And at the bottom of the list, exercise science, culinary arts, and child and family studies. UNT's biggest freshman class might also bring big anxiety to campus. Sophomore Kira Trulock suffered from anxiety and depression her first year at school. She is part of the 44% of college students who have felt depression. Trulock says she had many symptoms. Some were weight loss, loneliness, and feelings of rejection. But many experts argue that symptoms don't always mean students have depression.
It was a lot of different feelings, and none of them unfortunately were positive because it was a really hard year for me.
I don't think the majority of students have clinical depression or clinical anxiety, but they do experience symptoms of that.
Trulock says her symptoms have decreased significantly since starting at UNT. One man is dead and a Denton County deputy sheriff is on paid leave, following a shooting on October 15th. Authorities say the deputy pulled over a car for speeding northwest of Denton. They say the two men in the car switched places and one then rammed the car into the patrol car. A news release from the Denton County Sheriff's Department says the deputy fired 2 shots. Roberto Carlos Hernandez died at a Denton hospital. Michael Chadwick Fry was arrested on an outstanding warrant. The Texas Rangers are investigating.
Being a law enforcement officer takes a lot of training. The Denton Police Department recently hosted the International Police Mountain Bike Association's Cyclists course. The organization offers certified training courses for officers who want to patrol on bike. The 40-hour course teaches officers how to be more efficient on their mountain bikes.
A lot of folks haven't ridden bicycles since they were kids, so this involves teaching them how to operate the bicycles on the roadway legally, effectively.
Officers were required to go up over curves and hills to teach the officers how to gain control over their bikes. Officers from around the county participated. The class is required for police officers who wish to do a patrol on bikes. And bikers, runners, and skateboarders will have a safe way to cross Loop 288. That's because construction is about to begin on a pedestrian bridge near Colorado Boulevard. NT Daily News' Jara Wright has more.
UNT student Shelly Sontag likes to run on the Denton Bridge Rail Trail.
It's secluded and it's nice, and the sun doesn't get too hot around here, so I like it. It's pretty and calming.
But that calm will soon be disrupted as construction is slated to begin on a pedestrian bridge linking the two sides of the trail over Loop 288. The bridge will run parallel to the A-train tracks above the loop. The idea for the pedestrian bridge came up in 2005 but was delayed due to construction on Loop 288. The current trail forces people to go up to Colorado Boulevard to cross the loop, which is almost 1,000 feet out of their way. Safety has become an issue as some pedestrians are crossing the road without going up to Colorado Boulevard. Safety is a big concern for city officials. Safety for cyclists, runners, and skateboarders who don't have a safe way to cross Loop 288. City officials say the new pedestrian bridge could help combat that problem.
It will be a convenience not only for trail users but for pedestrians walking up and down the loop.
Trail users like Sontag say they look forward to the improvement.
I'm looking forward to it being a little safer and not having to get too close to 288 and worrying about cars.
The part of the trail closest to the loop will be closed until construction is complete. City officials say the bridge will be named after Martin Luther King and will open in mid-May. Jara Wright, NT Daily News.
Coming up next on NT Daily News, environmentally friendly buildings and another recognition at UNT. And paper or plastic? One question that's not being asked at a local grocery store. We'll be right back.
I just have been successful in running a business.
Are you guys ready to see a train and learn about train safety?
Or should I try this herbal treatment? Should I do this? I think there's just some things we better not throw out.
The candidates were not short of answers.
My name's Reggie. Just recently, my wife and I took in her sister's children. And we already had 4, So I went from becoming a family man to a man with a bigger family. Now, you can't eat love, so I don't know how I'm gonna feed them tonight. How was that, Rich?
I think I look more like Denzel.
That's cold, man.
Play a role in ending hunger. Visit feedingamerica.org/hunger and find your local food bank.
The University of North Texas is known for being a green school, and now it has the award to prove it. UNT has just been named a higher education winner of the 2012 Green School Award. The Life Science Complex was honored in Austin by a Central Texas chapter of the U.S. Green Building Council. The awards encourage a love for learning through energy-efficient buildings. UNT continues to make its campus one of the greenest in the nation. NT Daily's Cynthia Campillo reports how the university is encouraging more students to go green.
Buddy Hill is a member of UNT's recycling staff. As part of his job, he goes from building to building, exchanging full recycling bins with empty ones. He says the recycling of paper has dropped dramatically in the last 3 years, but the recycling of plastic bottles has increased by almost 100%. Many UNT students say being green is important to them.
It matters a little bit because I like to recycle and do what I can for nature.
It's due to the university's strategic plan to place recycling bins within feet of each other and next to trash cans. UNT encourages students to recycle by placing bins such as these throughout the university, but it doesn't just stop there. Its green motto is now expanding to housing and residence halls. Go Green is a new program that motivates resident students to preserve energy and materials in their housing halls.
I think the biggest thing is a lot of students think it's hard or difficult to do, but UNT Housing is working really hard to make it easy.
The program places student representatives in every housing hall to promote eco-friendly options.
I think something really important is how even the smallest things can really impact us. Like, for example, our use of water from when we're taking showers.
Go Green has recently placed easy access water fountains for bottles throughout the dorms. Large recycling bins similar to dumpsters are also behind every residence building. Cynthia Campillo, NT Daily News.
And plastic bags are easy to get in Denton, but one local grocery store is doing its part to go green by limiting plastic bag use. NT Daily's Crystal Vasquez explains.
The question, paper or plastic, is an outdated question at one Denton grocery store. The cupboard offers only paper bags for customers at the checkout counter. An assistant manager at the local organic grocery store says they will eventually phase out the paper bags too. Cupboard employees want to encourage their customers to use reusable bags. But keeping plastic bags off the shelves and streets is the cupboard's main focus for now.
They fly up into trees, they clog the waterways, ponds, lakes. They're essentially everywhere at this point.
The Clean Air Council reports Americans use 1 billion plastic bags each year. This generates 300,000 tons of landfill waste. Some Denton shops have already banned plastic bags, but the biggest fear is that they'll end up here in this landfill. Denton's landfill manager says several hundred pounds of trash enter the landfill each day. The reality is there are not enough hands to sort recyclables in the landfill, and many plastic bags go where the wind blows them. But Denton city officials say they would rather educate residents about plastic bags than ban them.
Our preference would be that residents actually choose not to use plastic bags because they've been educated about the effects of those.
Thousands of plastic bags are required to make them recyclable. Bissett says most grocery stores offer a drop-off recycling program for plastic bags. Crystal Vasquez, NT Daily News.
Many UNT students seem to be having mixed reaction to the changing weather. Some of them are still wearing their shorts and t-shirts in the middle of October. Last week's weather caused many students to pull out their long pants and jackets, but that has only lasted a couple of days. This week's temperature should remain in the 70s and lower 80s. Cloudy days are on the way. No rain is expected until next week. There is more to come on NT Daily News. A big game, big preparations. We'll show you what it takes. And conduct on the playing field isn't always nice, and there can be consequences. Stay tuned.
At the University of North Texas, green means go, because here you're always moving forward with a green light to greatness. It's in the excellence of teaching and research, so students fueled with knowledge and skills can build careers, compete with the best, and make a difference in the world. Bring your dreams to light at UNT. UNT, we're your green light to greatness.
There's a lot going on with sports in North Texas. Crystal Vasquez joins us now with more. Crystal?
The UNT Mean Green football team played Louisiana Lafayette Ragin' Cajuns at Apogee Stadium Tuesday, October 16th. The unusual Tuesday night game meant changes in parking for the evening, and the opening of the new pedestrian bridge caused adjustments to be made in traffic routes. On-street parking in the neighborhood surrounding the stadium was prohibited. Cars without residential permits that were parked on the city streets were ticketed by city police. And pedestrians were not allowed to cross Interstate 35 at Bonnie Brae or North Texas Boulevard. Game attendees used the new bridge to avoid cross traffic. The game was the first time the Mean Green Nation marched to the new stadium together. The ESPN televised game showcased $79 million Apogee Stadium and a spirited Mean Green football team. But hiding in the shadows of this nationally televised game was a bigger story. Mean Green wants to secure its first bowl game since the 2004 season. The team hopes to finish above 500, which also hasn't been done since 2004. And they hope to show Conference USA what it has to look forward to when Mean Green moves in next year. Whether or not the TV cameras are on shouldn't matter when it comes to good conduct in sports. And UNT intramural football teams are learning that their behavior does matter. NT Daily's Courtney Butcher has more.
UNT intramural football teams from several organizations meet at local fields to compete twice a week. The players strap on their flags as they prepare themselves for the game.
Here are the victory fields where most of the action takes place. It's not just your ordinary football game.
Intramural football requires pulling flags off players rather than tackling, but that does not stop rough play. Disputes between players happen at almost every game, but some players from the Pi Kappa Alpha organization blame the referee calls for the unsportsmanlike conduct.
The last 10 minutes of the game, the refs blew a couple crucial calls that were out at both teams, which led to unsportsmanlike conduct. I feel like the refs need to be more educated before they start refereeing our games.
Intramural officials suspended 3 teams in 2011 for unsportsmanlike conduct. They say they would like to build off the past to look into the future.
We'd like to try to crack down on unsportsmanlike conduct by changing our mindset and not trying to change the players initially.
Pi Kappa Alpha players say they realize bad conduct is going to happen in any game they play, and officials say they are just looking for a fair playing ground between players and referees. There have been no reported suspensions this intramural season. Courtney Butcher, NT Daily News.
Mean Green basketball teams entertained fans at Basketball Madness with a scrimmage, three-point shootout, and slam dunk contest. First-year men's basketball head coach Tony Benford is anticipating UNT's best season ever. UNT's women's basketball team also welcomed its new head coach Mike Peterson. Both seasons kick off next month. Back to you, Haley and Lucas.
Thanks, Crystal. That's all for this edition of NT Daily News.
Thanks for joining us. Stay tuned for NT Daily en Español.
This has been NT Daily News.